Hello, my lovelies. Happy Thursday. We're going to do our first shadow work of the year. I don't know if I'm going to do these every single Thursday, but I am sure going to try and incorporate more of them in. We're always healing, we're always evolving, we're always growing. So what does our hidden side need us to know? That is what shadow work's all about. It's becoming our most authentic version of ourselves and allowing all of the darkness to be embraced by the light and finding the balance within. All right, this deck is called Conversations with Your Inner Self. Gives you some food for thought. It's a deck I really like to incorporate into the shadow work. So let's see, what are the triggers that my collective needs to work through this week? Show us some triggers that they can work on healing. So this deck is designed to work by literally you having these conversations with your inner self, with your intuition. Thought we had a flipper over here. Apparently not. What is going on for my collective? There we go. Ooh, fears and anger. Fears. Do you have any unexplained fears or phobias? And could they be connected to your shadow self? Interesting. Anger. How do you cope with your anger? Is it in a positive or a negative is what Spirit's asking. Limiting beliefs. What are your self-limiting beliefs? Masking. Do you ever feel like you're wearing a mask or playing a role? If you're not a Hollywood actor, I would say that's something we want to address. And professional life. How does your shadow self affect your professional life? Interesting. So some food for thought. Let's see how we integrate and how we find the balance. Show my collective what they need to know. How do they achieve the balance? Emotional release. What activities help you release pent-up emotions? 5 lives to live. If you had 5 imaginary lives to live, what would you do and be like in each one of them? What else do they need to see to integrate this week? Strengths. How can you transform negative shadow traits into strengths? And forgiveness. What do you need to forgive yourself for? Interesting. Self-love and self-care, that's how we start to embrace our shadow self, and it's how we start to transform and find the balance. All right, the next deck I use is called the Tarot of Light and Shadow. It is a tandem deck just like the first one. I start with the shadow aspects so we can see what's hidden and what needs to be revealed. And then the light side is how we integrate and how we find the balance. What do we need to see for 2025? What are some hidden aspects that our shadow needs us to acknowledge? What is hidden? Ooh, the 4 of Wands in the reverse. We are past the point of burnout. This is something that we greatly need to address. There could be illness, there could be injury, there could be some things that just are unaligned in our life right now, and I feel like it's taking a toll. I feel like there's also relationships that were stable and have since become imbalanced. And so I feel like there's either like a division of labor that needs to be addressed. Could be in a love relationship or work relationship. I feel like things are quickly kind of dissolving in this situation. And I feel like it's needed. I feel like you can't keep burning the candle at both ends, that you are really reaching the point of exhaustion to the point where you're not going to be able to recover easily from that. So that needs to be addressed. I also feel like there's some relationships that have been on the rocks for a long time that are also on their way out. All right, the Chariot. Yeah. So when it's in the shadow, it's basically like a reversal. So this tells us that there's a lot of stagnation. There isn't any forward progress in this connection. Travel plans might have had to be halted. I feel like there's just a lot of things that are not going well. I feel like there could also be, the stubborn energy of things just not moving, and the 10 of Cups. So yeah, something is ending. It's a long-standing relationship, marriage, commitment, and I feel like it's been shit for a while. Let's not, mince words here. This is not a healthy situation. There's a lot of maybe emotional abuse going on. There's a lot of neglect. There's a lot of needs not being met, and that's got to change. The Wheel of Fortune in the shadow as well. So that tells us financially there are a lot of problems here. That could be the one reason why it hasn't actually ended, could be financially related. Tell me what else they need to see, what needs to change. All right, we have the Eight of Swords. So this is a good sign. The Eight of Swords in the shadow tells us that we're not overthinking things anymore, that we're actually making positive changes and making a conscious decision to get ourselves unstuck. But that starts with self-love and self-care. You could be going through infertility. You could be struggling with meeting your own needs right now because this connection is depleting you. I feel like this is also putting you in energy that you wouldn't otherwise be in. The Queen of Cups is nurturing. She's motherly. She's kind. She's gentle. But when she's in the shadow aspect like this, she lashes out. She's very vengeful. She can be somebody who's smothering, a helicopter parent. And I feel like somebody who's really, they need to meet their own needs first before they can give to another. So self-love and self-care. You guys hear me say it all the time. It's so important. The Lovers. Somebody is choosing themselves. I feel like somebody is tired of this commitment. It's way past its expiration date. My guide says spoiled milk. It's time to throw that shit out. So why are you holding on to these things that are no good for you? You need to find the balance. And how are you going to do that? What is Temperance doing? Pouring into a giant cup, right? Well, that cup has holes in it. So what do we have to do? We've got to seal up those holes. I'm being shown like holes in a person like Swiss cheese. And I feel like all of your emotions are gushing out. And so we've got to seal up those holes. We've got to heal in order to retain what we're pouring into that vessel. All right, Spirit, show me what else is hidden from them. All right, what is that? The Six of Wands. Okay, so this is like defeat, and you don't want to feel defeated in love anymore or anywhere in life. So we've got to focus on the hard work to get there. There's the Empress. We don't like her in the shadow aspect either, same reason. Just like the Queen of Cups, she's lashing out. She's not herself. She's somebody who is lacking creativity. She's not in her divine feminine energy, so she's not nurturing. She's not as powerful. And love, you feel like it's something that you'll never achieve, then that's something that you've got to change your mindset on. Just because this one connection didn't work out doesn't mean that the right person isn't going to find you at the right time. And the Nine of Coins. So I feel like you've lost a lot of money in this situation. I feel like there's been a lot of missed opportunities, but I feel like you're working towards abundance, or you need to be in order to get there. All right, let's see if I can speed read for the rest of this. Let's see what we need to see. All right, you have a choice about the future that you need to weigh carefully. You've got to make a decision. Do you stay where you currently are and repeat cycles, or do you break free of that shit and go in a new direction? You have to decide. Indecision is still a choice, so remember that going forward. Remove the blindfold and see the truth for what it is and choose which path works best for you. Let go of the conflict, the chaos, and find your peace. And then be willing to take a step in a new direction. You have to be able to take that first step. That leads to a wish fulfillment. That leads to a lot of emotional fulfillment. And if you listen to your intuition, you will never be on the wrong path. That leads to your victory. So trusting your instincts is what's going to help get you there. You've got to sever ties with the past in order to embrace the future. Then you step into your nurturing energy. I love this. So we are seeing a turnaround, but you've got to do the work to get there. So we want that nurturing energy. That opens up doors of opportunity. The right people come in at the right time. We also have our guard up very high. So we have to remember to let the right people in at the right time. And we can't always be ready for battle. I feel like you do need some rest and time to yourself, so make that a priority. Self-love, self-care is also about rest and recharging, so give that to yourself. Remember, the hard work is going to be needed in order to get to this new chapter. And then we have to let go of the heavy burdens that are weighing us down. That also brings in new opportunities. It could be for work. You could be traveling. You could be relocating. You could have an unexpected visitor at your door. Judgment's being called. So this definitely means that there is a change in perspective. You're going through transformation. Not all of it is pretty, but it is better on the other side. A change in perspective, karma being dealt, forgiveness needing to come in, and sometimes it's towards yourself. This week, be willing to walk away from anything that doesn't serve your highest good, because a new choice in love is about to be presented to you this week. Interesting. We're healing our money wounds. I feel like we need to plan or set some goals for the future, and we come out on top with the Wheel of Fortune. So the divine is stepping in, bringing you all of the abundance that you long for if you're willing to do the work and sever ties with what you don't. Have a wonderful week.